Hey guys, it's Rush. Today we're going to be taking a look at what I consider to be the best tier 6 tank in the game. It's the Type 64. So in this review, we're not really going to go over the stats of this tank. I'm just going to talk about how it plays. What you get when you get a Type 64 is you get a really fast fire rate gun with low pen and low alpha. So essentially what you have is a DPM monster for tier 6. You can see 2588 DPM with my setup. Obviously it's a light tank. It has no armor. It's basically a Hellcat with a faster firing gun. Light tank, great mobility. You can see I've got 21 specific power to weight ratio, and everything else is just outstanding. Camo 32% with my setup, and the spotting is 45. So you get a light tank when you get this tank, and the thing is, light tanks in tier 6 are extremely powerful because you can outspot things, you can out camo things, you can out DPM things. And given that light tanks now see tier 4s if you're tier 6, this thing is just amazing. I really think it's great. So as far as crew skill goes, I'm not really going to go into like huge depth with them. What I can do is I can screenshot my crew skills. I'll put them in the description, so if you want to see my crew skills, either pause this video while I've been loading these up, or just look in the video description, and that'll have a link to my skills. So yeah, because I just have way too many. As long as you're not putting like firefighting as your first crew skill on this tank, I think you should be good. A lot of them are like crew skills are good options, so there we go. As far as equipment setup goes, I've got rammer optics because this thing can't have vents, and this thing can mount a V-stab. So I'd suggest doing that if you have the cash. V-stab will generally be better than a gunline drive, especially for light tanks because they're moving and whatnot. The V-stab will do a better job for the actual gameplay part of light tanks, because a lot of the time you're going to be moving when you shoot, so V-stab will help with that more than GLD. Now, what you can see I've done ammo-wise is I go 25 and 20 and 0. The reason is the HE at this tier, like with 38 pen, with this alpha, it just does nothing. So there's no point in carrying HE on this tank. That being said, like you only have 45 HE shells, so you have to sort of balance it out. I carry no HE because I run out of ammo consistently. So what I've done is I've gone 25, 20, and 0. And the reason I carry so much APCR on this thing is because 177 pen won't even go through the side of like a defender consistently. So the APCR, when you've got a gun that fires this quick, is very easy to run out of. It's just sort of light tank gameplay as it is. You sort of have to pay to win with lights. You need APCR if you want to pen the weak spots of heavies. Even then, like, you can't even pen the side of some tier 8s with gold. So it's just the way the game is right now. I'm sorry, I don't like spending 2,800 credits on a shell either, but it's just the way the game is. So that would be my suggestion. I would suggest you carry gold. Because without it, you're just going to be useless in tier 8 games, no matter how well you can aim. What I've done here is I go small first aid kit, large repair kit, and food. That's because I can afford the food, and large repair kit helps with the tracks and stuff like that. So I really do like these things here, especially that like you don't need a large repair kit for light tanks. So that's just my opinion. That's pretty much it. I mean, the Type 64 is a basic light tank. Let's go look at some replays, and we'll talk about how it plays. Alrighty, so for this game, we're on El Haluf, standard game. A lot of people on El Haluf, especially when they're in a tier 6 scout, will try to scout on this map. And what I'm going to be focusing on for the majority of this review, and pretty much every single light tank video I ever do, is going to be that light tanks aren't scouts. They can scout, but they also have a gun, and when you're on a map like El Haluf, you don't need to scout anyone because the majority of the game is won and lost at C2. So what you're going to see me doing is I'm bringing my tank to a position of the map that I think is very important. The south doesn't really matter. You can see we've got like 7 TDs, or not 7, but way too many tanks are just, locking down the south. They're going to have the exact same thing on their team. All their TDs are going to be up here shooting anyone who goes valley, and we have likewise. So just to illustrate that, south, nothing happens there 90% of the time. So what you can see me doing is I'm playing this corner. This is pretty much the most you can do on this map. It's pretty badly designed, I think. This is the only option that works. So what you're forced to do is you're forced to brawl in a light tank, and that's okay, but you sort of need gold to do it, especially when you're bottom tier like we are here. So I'm very bottom tier in this game and can't really pen the weak spots of Tiger P, 252. I mean, the 252 doesn't really have weak spots. But what you can see is I'm just forced to spam gold at the side of tanks because AP would never have penned the Tiger P side like that. So that's the situation that light tanks are in currently in the game. If you don't like that, I wouldn't suggest playing light tanks because you're going to find you're not going to win a lot of games if you're trying to scout or you're unwilling to shoot gold. That's just the way light tanks work. I'm sorry, no one likes spending more credits than they have to. It's just, you know, the game as it is right now. Now, right now, what you're going to notice is there's a 252 to my right. I see him on the map. I'm aware of that. I start falling back. The T-32 decides to YOLO. And I just want to point something out. I'm running away here. And the reason I'm doing that is because they've got 6-ish strong tanks coming towards us. We've got a one-shot M6. I'm a one-shot. There's a 34-100 who's a two-shot. And we have a T-71. Like, we're not going to win this fight no matter how well we play. So the thing is, when you're in a mobile tank, the key is just to use your mobility and reposition. So I start to run away. I take a hit from the IKV. That's okay. I live. And that's pretty much it. We're just going to run away. We're going to go to our base. To be honest, right now, from my perspective, it looks like we're not going to win this. We're down 5 tanks. So I'm just sort of like thinking, fuck this in my head right now. So right here, I want to point out, I do make a mistake, and obviously I do make a lot of mistakes consistently, but in this play right here, what I should have done is I should have gone like this, because that would have allowed me to use this mound right here to keep me safe from the 252. This is where I get lucky. The 252 snapshots, to be honest, he's relatively lucky to have hit me because the 252 is trash. But he did hit me and he didn't kill me, which is amazing. And you're going to find I'm just going to use that luck that I continue to survive to try to do my best. Now, like I said, I don't think we're going to win this game. I'm just going to the best position that I can to give me damage, because I don't think we're going to win this whatsoever. And we're going to be going to a sniping position. Now, the common sniping position on this map is typically in this area, but once they start to get into your base, that doesn't work. This position that I'm going to right here, which is typically where Artie sits, is going to allow you to put side shots into the heavies as they go after your TDs. So you're going to see that happen. It becomes really apparent once they start pushing into us. But first, we're going to be shooting at the heavies who are pushing down the A line. So you can see that right here. Now, this is one of the problems with this tank's gun. You're going to see I'm not able to consistently pen the KV-3 with gold at range. It's just the way this tank works. You have to shoot a lot to pen a reasonable amount, so it can be very expensive to play. Like I said, look, I'm shooting gold, and I have to aim for center of mass because the accuracy isn't good enough to hit his lower plate. So it's just like you just shoot a lot and hope you pen some. You can see I get lucky and pen that there. That wasn't skill by my part, it was pure luck. And we're just trying to put as many shots out as we can, because if we shoot a lot, we will eventually pen some of them. Now, you can see the UDES flips himself over. This is a perfect advantage for me. I switched to AP. We're going to take out a tier 8 gun from the fight. That's going to be huge for our team. We're able to pick up another kill on the IKV-65, and we finish off that UDES right there. So, from this position, you can see I'm getting shots on basically everyone. As they push into us, it's going to be really easy to do that. There's going to be some tanks that I just can't impact, especially when I've only got 4 APCR shells left. That's just the way this game works. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to pen the side of this 252 with AP consistently. Even gold is going to bounce if I hit his side skirt. So I'm trying to get lucky here. I'm taking a lot of shots at the 252, and I think only like one of them pens. So you can see I've got 3 APCR shells left. There's a KV-2 in front of me. I'm going to be looking for shots onto him. I shouldn't have taken that shot as quickly as I did, but you can see it's just sort of RNG saying fuck you. It happens, right? That's just the way this game works. There's a 252 pushing in. Now, a lot of people would be scared as to like the way I'm playing this bush right here, but you can see my camo is so good that he doesn't spot me, and that's one of the great things about low tier light tanks. No one has the view range to consistently spot you, which is amazing. Right here, we're shooting at the 252. You can see if I shoot at him and it hits his tracks or his side skirt, it's just going to bounce. That's not very good. Again, we're going to shoot at the KV-2, and from here, we're just sort of abusing this position. Now, as this happens, I just want to point out the score is eventually like evening itself out. We are now down 1 tank, but again, they have a 252. They've got a KV-3, a KV-2. They sort of have the initiative. Our TDs don't have a lot of HP. They're not in very good positions. It doesn't look like we're going to win this. Now, I want to point out, we've got a T-71 in the south. He does a really good job of dealing with the Sturm Mill. That's the guy who's going to win us this game. I do make a play that also secures the game, but without this T-71, it would have been impossible. Right here, what I'm doing is I'm trying to help out my T-28. The plan that's starting to form in my head, because, I just want to point this out, the KV-2 is looking at me. If someone looks at you, even if you're not spotted, they're going to blind fire you. Just assume that. So his barrel was pointing at me. You're going to notice I'm going to fall back. And here comes his shell any second now. There we go, we fall back. He would have missed, but that's just a thing. You have to be careful about it. If someone's looking at you, just assume they're going to shoot at you. So, pro tip right there. Alright, so here's like the strategy part of this replay. So in this case, we've managed to live until the end of the game. The scores have evened themselves out. We're only down 1 tank still. It used to be 5. And our team isn't really in the greatest of positions. Now, we've got a T-71 who's dealing with a Sturm Mill at F3. Or is that F4? It's F4. You can see him on the map right there. And without that guy, like I said, this would have been a loss. Now, right here, I'm just sort of being an idiot, I guess. I'm just waiting. There's not much I can do. I can't go push an object 252 just yet, given the circumstance. You can see the 252 gets lit. So this guy knows where I am. I was ready for him to try to like poke his barrel at me, maybe take a blind shot at this bush. So what you can see me doing is I'm positioning myself to run away. You can see a T-25-2 gets lit. And I'm asking the T-71 to get on cap any second here. I actually forgot to read the chat, but yeah, I said please cap right now. So that's the plan right here. My hope, the T-71 kills the T-25-2, which is perfect. My hope is to delay this 252 defender for as long as I possibly can. And, you know, if I can do a good job of that, just delay him by 10 seconds, the T-71 might be able to get on cap, and that would win us the game. So some people will criticize this play right here, and they'd be totally right to do that. Basically, I just YOLO'd. I didn't expect the 252 to poke the way he did. I almost threw the game right here, but you can see that was totally planned. Pure skill. The reason I wanted to get into this position, by the way, is because I didn't think the 252 would have a very good chance at climbing this. You're going to see I'm going to be able to play Ring Around the Rosie here better than I would have if I was up in this area with the 252. So this is the position I'm going here because I don't expect to beat this guy. I've only got 8 shells left. Can't pen his side. I can only pen his rear. So the play I'm making right now is a delay play. I'm not going for damage. I'm not going for kills. But you can see just by being here, they have no chance at winning anymore. The 252 is not going to reset in time. So at this point in time, the game's been won. It's just me sort of delaying this guy for as long as I can to make sure he has as little chance as possible to reset. He ends up turning the tables on, so he goes over to that side, he climbs over, and here's where he's going to kill me. So that's this replay. I want to point out that just because you're in a light tank doesn't mean you have to scout, and it also means you can still have impacts on the game when you're bottom tier. So I just thought I'd show this because everyone says, oh, why don't good players show replays of when they're bottom tier? It's because it's a lot harder to get kills and stuff, but I feel like my play really secured the victory. Obviously, if the 252 had gone on cap, we wouldn't have had any chance at winning this game because, like before the T-71, because neither of us would have killed that guy. So yeah, let's go on to the next. Alrighty, so we're on the map Westfield. It's a standard game. Now, in the Type 64 on Westfield, a lot of, you know, on the forums and maybe on other people's YouTube channels, the common advice that you're going to get is to play the South on this map. Now, I just want to point out, the map is called Westfield for a reason. That's because the majority of this game is played on the Western field. You're going to notice that if you lose C3, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a lot. Maybe not 9, maybe 8. But this game is decided, on this map, it's decided at C3. That's just the way it works. The positions that you get from winning C3 in, like, basically this all up, this ridge here, is going to be superior to playing the South. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to win an important side of the map for my team instead of just wasting my tank on the South. So, you'll see how that plays out. What we're doing is we're just climbing the hill. Unfortunately, Wargaming has a spawn way down there. That's always how it works in mediums. And we just have to drive all the way up to the hill, but that's just the way the game works. Now, what you're going to find is I'm going to go up to C3. We're going to get shots on the A5, A4 TDs. We're also going to get shots at the B3 heavies. And that's going to allow us to severely impact the game and sort of sway it in our favor. It's really, really easy, and I just want to put that out there. If you put yourself into a good position, it's very, very easy to do well there. So what you can see me doing is I drive up to here. I was looking at the KV2. I stay zoomed out because that lets me see if there, you know, I was zoomed out so I could see if there were any TDs there. Saw TDs. I didn't commit to the KV2. I just started shooting at the TDs instead, and I also know there's a KV2 to my right. So you can see I'm just putting shots into them. I carry a lot of, you know, this tank has a lot of ammo, so you're able to do that. And we're just going to be playing this position. You can see I'm checking my map. I see an SC-152. Try to put a shot into him. That guy doesn't have the greatest accuracy, so I'm not really scared if I'm contesting him. But, you know, that's just the way that tank works. I know he doesn't have good accuracy, so I feel like okay contesting him at range. There's a KV2 to my right. I see him on the map there. I looked, and, you know, since he was pointing his gun at me, I'm just not going to poke on him. So I'm waiting for that guy to move. You can see he's moving. His accuracy's shit on the move, so I'm able to put shots into him. This is just me playing this side. I've already done my HP and damage. We're 2 minutes into the game. You can see the SU-152 misses. I check the KV-2, and we're just going to continue to pump shots out. The more shots we can put out, the more damage we're going to do. So that's the way this tank works. The more you shoot, the better you're going to do. There's a KV-2 who's still to my right. You're going to notice I check him. He doesn't have the greatest shot on me, so he doesn't really take it, and we're just going to continue to try to, shoot stuff. Now, one thing about this tank is it's not really like, it's one of those tanks, you're going to bounce a lot, you're going to miss a lot. So I really don't think fully aiming your shots makes any sense. You're going to miss a lot of them, but that's just the way the game works. It's better to shoot like 10 times as opposed to 5, because you're going to get lucky on some of those shots. It just, trust me, if you shoot more, you'll get much more damage. So what you can see me doing is I'm continuing to play this side. Our team is down on tanks, but we're going to push this KV-2. The TDs are about to die at A6, and the game is going to be in our favor. Now that KV-2 is looking at me again, or it appeared like he was, so I was backing off. He shot the SU-100Y, and now we're down to 2 AP shells. So what you're going to see me doing is, I know the KV-2's reloading. I want to point out that I made sure I cleared out the A5 location before I YOLO'd the city. A lot of the times the TDs up here will sort of wreck you if you try to play the city. So what we're doing is we're just going to push into this KV-2. We're going to finish him off down to my last AP shell. And once this guy's dead, we can just go kill the people who are playing on the south, because they're in terrible positions. There's nowhere they can go from there, and we have the initiative right now. So right now we're down a tank. We're about to lose the M12, or that would be my guess anyways. Making a bit of a stupid play here. I'm crossing an open field. I wanted to get to these ridges here to shoot at their tanks as they push down the K line. You can see that doesn't happen. I kill the Hellcat, I get ammo racked, and I have to repair my loader. So we run away. That's okay. This is a mobile tank. I just want to get safe. I know they're shooting HE at me, so you can see I'm just driving to where I think I'm okay, and there's an SU-152. So in this case, we're fully aiming the shot. We don't have a lot of ammo. He wasn't moving, so we could. And, the score's just quickly sort of evening itself out. We're in way better positions than they are, so I don't really see, I'm not too nervous about this game right now. You can see a Hellcat pushes up. We're able to just put shots into him through these walls here. So there's that. The WZ-131 is pushing into me. You're going to notice I just want to point something out. I'm at a huge disadvantage right here in this position that I am. I wouldn't have expected the WZ to have pushed like he did. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to intimidate him to try to make him fall back. Now, the way you do that is by taking really quick shots and just trying to scare him. You see he's backing up. He shot. My goal is just to reduce his hit points so much that he doesn't want to push me at all. The risk of him YOLOing me is extremely high. He can just rush into me and kill me. So you can see I'm playing it safe. I want to try to prevent him from YOLOing me in the future. Put a couple shots into him. He's scared now, and well, he was scared earlier, so he's just running away. And you can see I'm just going to sort of play this house. Now, the south isn't as bad. I know I've been saying it's bad. It's not terrible. They will have shots on me, so you can see I am keeping cover between myself and where the VK3001P was last spotted. I'm not lit, so I can just sort of cross this open field. We have two Ohus who are getting on cap, and I'm just going to sort of start to be a bit more aggressive here. So from this position, what I'm going to be able to do is I'm just going to be able to very easily shoot at everyone who's on the K-line. You can see it's not a very good position to be in from their perspective, but I am down to 10 shells, so I'm not even going to risk shooting at the Thunderbolt if his front is facing me. You see he shows me his sides, so that means I'm going to open up on him, but I've only got 7 shells left, so we're going to be sort of conservative with our ammo here. We're just going for the kill on the Thunderbolt because he was an easy kill. And then we're just going to sort of play it the way we're going to. So one thing I want to point out is that the VK killed the SU-100Y, so that made me think he was sort of in this area right here. Now, given that information, I was sort of, you can see on the map he's over here, but given that information, what I thought, there's two things. I don't use XVM, but I can sort of assume he's not a very good player. He brought a VK south, so that's my first assumption. And the second thing is I'm going to be going downhill, so I'm going to pick up a lot of speed while I'm doing this. It's actually sort of, even though it looks like I'm going into the open, I'm going to have a lot of speed, and that guy brought his VK south, so I'm going to sort of, I'm not too worried about him. As long as I keep moving, I should be fine. You can see I kill the WZ, we're going to push into the Hellcat, sort of slow my speed, and then we finish the Hellcat off. So that's pretty much the game. We're gonna go miss the Fadens medal. I guess I should say Fadens just to piss off everyone who watches this video. But we're gonna push into the M12. I have one shell left. I kill the M12 and then they kill the VK. So, you know, good job to them. I'm not, you know, it's the Fadens, who cares? What you're gonna notice is I'm just gonna sort of push into them. I want to get the Fadens, but you can see I've got one shell left. Then they managed to nail the VK, and then that's the game. You have 1 HP, how tantalizing. But, oh well. They end up killing the VK, and then we run out of ammo. So, let's go on to the next, I guess. We can go see my opinion of this. So for the most important question of all, should you get the Type 64? I really think it's better than pretty much every other Tier 6 in the game. You can see I've got a Cromwell B as well. I've got a Cromwell. I've got, you know, I've played a lot of Tier 6s. And this thing outmatches the Cromwell B because it has slightly less hit points, but the gun handling is significantly better. So some people like swear by the Cromwell B. The Cromwell B is the same tank with slightly more hit points and significantly worse gun handling. So the Type 64 you can pick up at any time. You don't have to wait for it or anything like that. If you're looking for a Tier 6 tank that is like amazing, has great gun handling, great DPM, just shitty pen, and can't really make credits, I would definitely suggest getting this thing because the Type 64, don't get it because you want credits, get it because you want it for fun. It's not a good credit earner. Most Tier 6 premiums won't be able to make credits. The Cromwell B is an exception to that, actually. It's pretty good for credits, but what you're going to find is this tank just doesn't have the gold pen to go through the sides of a lot of the worst matchmaking scenarios you can get in. So even if you outplay someone, you're going to have to shoot gold to just pen them. So I would, like I said, don't get this tank if you're looking for credits, pick something else. But if you're looking for a fun tank that you can just sort of drop down when you're having, you know, a lost streak in Tier 10s, I would suggest this tank because it's my personal go-to Tier 6 tank. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the like and the unsubscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye.